Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel AlgoWise. Today in the evening, the quarterly results of Infosys Limited was announced and declared. So we have the numbers now. So me and Malloy, we both thought it would be a good idea to discuss the quarterly results and then the future outlook of the company as well as the sector as a whole. So Molloy, welcome, and so we can maybe go ahead with screener and then first see the numbers and then discuss the outlook in detail.
Yeah, sure, Kalyan. So let me share my screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Let me know once that is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so yeah, so Infosys results is out today. So let's just quickly screen through the results and then we'll look how the market estimated the results and how they have come up with the numbers. Okay,
Okay.
so if we just screen through the fundamental numbers from the screeners, we see that the Infosys PY is around 26.1. They have a healthy return on capital employed and return on equity of say 29% and 37.1%. Okay, the profit variation for 3 years is 12.9, and the sales growth for the 3 years is 13.7. Okay, so once we come to the numbers, we'll see how they are faring with the historical average of 3 years, both
Okay.
top line and bottom line. So, but
Okay.
okay, so if you see the historical numbers, it's marginally it's always if you see the stock PYE, the top line and bottom line number is relatively less than what the stock PYE is,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
So now if you look into the 3 years median PYE number of Infosys, it's hovering around say between 25 to 30, right?
Hmm.
So with respect to 3 years, with and keeping into the results which is announced today, so you will see that the PYE is marginally below the median value. But if you
Hmm.
take the PYE median for the 5 years, you will see that it is marginally higher. Okay,
Hmm.
so that is one of the key indicator to from the valuation perspective. So let's see the quarterly results. So if you see that the net profit this quarter is 6026 crore. Okay, and
Hmm.
from last quarter, June quarter, the profit has increased by 12.38%. And
Hmm.
with respect to the September quarter 2021, the profit has increased by 11%. Okay,
Okay.
so if you
Hmm.
look at the sales number from June quarter, the sales number has increased by 6%, whereas from the September 2021 quarter, the sales has gone up by 23.43%, which is a decent growth they have shown. Okay,
Yeah.
then we'll look into in more details. The If you look into quarterly numbers, so here is what we are trying to compare September 2021 and September 2022.
Hmm.
Uh, as we have already discussed, from 29,602 crores, the sales has gone up to 36,538 crores, right?
Yeah.
If you see the operating margin is still lower from it is 26% earlier, it's 24%. But what is encouraging is that in the high inflation scenario, we'll see that the operating margin over the last 3 quarters has decreased from 26% to 23%. So that dip is like has stopped and started recovering once again, right?
Correct, correct.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
now
as
gone
compared
up.
to the last quarter, it has increased actually. OPM has increased by 1%.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
in last quarters, there was very high attritions, and then there was wage issues. The employee cost has gone up. Most of the IT companies were struggling with the operating margins, right?
Correct, correct.
So
Yeah.
now we can see a recovery. We are not yet 100% sure whether this whether this recovery is sustainable, but yeah, we are seeing some recovery here. Okay. So now, as we have discussed, the net profit is 66026. If you see that in September 2021, it was 5428. right?
Hmm.
So now that we have gone with the numbers, now we have to see whether how the numbers have fared with the estimated numbers. uh, for that, let me share one. Yeah. So I was looking into this news. I thought it's worth sharing. So if you see here, we already
Okay,
discussed
these are
the
the Bloomberg estimates, right? Hmm.
these are the Bloomberg estimates. So if you see here, so in all front, they have posted a results which is better than the
Hmm.
estimated value. So
Yeah, yeah.
like Bloomberg estimate in for revenue was 36,470, whereas they has posted a top line growth of 36,538, right?
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
margins were 7617, the estimated value, whereas the EBITDA the EBITDA value is 7873 crores. Okay, the EBITDA margin was estimated at 21%, whereas the margin which is reported here is 21.5%, and the net profit was estimated to be 5,916 crores, but the actual net profit is 6021 crores. So you can see that in all fronts, the results actually supersedes the market estimates.
Market expectations. Yeah, correct. Hmm.
Yeah. So now, if you see the business environment, few highlights, which is worth sharing, is that Infosys won the deal for 2.7 billion in July to September quarter, compared with 1.7 billions in the previous quarter. So they have a healthy order book, and though in this challenging scenario, they have had bagged a good deal, right? So that is one good thing. And as we have seen that in the EBITDA margins, there is an improve of 150 basis point, right? So
Yeah,
out of
correct.
which basis point is due to currency benefits. That's
Hmm.
the dollar strengthening against the rupee,
Yeah, rupee.
and
Okay, rupee depreciation basically.
rupee depreciation, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the balance 80 basis point is because of the operating margin that can be there due to multiple factors, but
Multiple
mostly
factors. Yeah, correct, correct.
employee wages can be one of the factor.
Mm.
Okay, so then uh, the other thing
Even the
which is
attrition has also come down, no, as we compare to last quarter,
yeah,
June
so that is
quarter.
also one positive news, that
Positive, negative.
voluntary attrition for the last 12 months dipped to 27.1% at the end of
Hmm.
September, compared to 28.4% in June. So,
Okay.
but yeah, into that top four companies in IT sector like TCS, Infosys, HCL Tech, and Wipro. So, though in
Hmm.
absolute terms, the attrition rate of Infosys is still higher than the other big four companies,
Hmm.
but if you compare their last quarter attrition rate, so they have improved on that. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, correct. So as compared to their peers, they are still high. The attrition numbers are still high of
attrition
like
numbers are
Infosys
very
as
high,
compared to.
well,
Hmm.
comfortably high,
Hmm.
but uh, they have hired with respect to their peers, they have hired more employees. Okay, this
Hmm.
quarter, and
Hmm.
with respect to the freshers, they had a target of 50,000 for new freshers, out of which they have added 40,000, and the plan is to add another 10,000. Okay,
Okay.
so that is one thing. The other thing is that the company has given a guidance. So if you see here, that is also you can say it's neither positive nor negative. The reason I'll explain. The company raised the guidance for financial year 23 revenue to 15 to 16%, from 14 to 16%. So the range, the lower bound was 14% earlier, so
Hmm.
they have increase that to 15%. So
Okay.
now I'll just I'll why this is important, because if you see the Infosys results, which while we are discussing, the sales growth for the 3 years is 13.7%, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in this PYE, this company has shown a sales of 13.7%. So now the company has given a guidance of around 15%, even in this challenging environment. So that is a good part. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, but due to certain uncertainties in the market, they have reduced the operating margin guidance from 21 to 22% against 21 to 23%
Okay,
earlier.
okay.
So the
Mm-hmm.
upper bound here has been reduced from
Reduce,
23% to
yeah, correct. Okay. So OPM they have reduced it, but
by
their sales
1%
number they have increased it basically.
increase. So overall, it if you see that this can be considered to be neutral.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay.
So these are these are in a short gist of the results. And
Hmm.
with respect to outlook, if you see, the company is trading at a PYE of 26, right?
Hmm.
26 with a sales number of around for the last 3 years of around 13, 14, and that is the outlook in the future as well. So though the results beat the market estimates, there so in that, keeping that in mind, there can be some positive trades which may happen once the market opens tomorrow. But it also depends on the overall outlook, how the market would open. I don't see a big gap up or gap down with these results. Okay,
Okay.
so one more thing is that with this challenging environment and with the results and the guidance what they have provided, maybe that it would not yield very good returns for the investors for the next 2 3 quarters. But down the line, it is very difficult for these good companies to get a proper entry point. So if you are thinking of a long term position, keeping in mind say 4 to 5 years, then investment can be done systematically. Like one fourth of your planned amount can go with these valuations, and if there is
Hmm.
any further corrections, you can put in more money. Okay, because the
Okay.
stock is fundamentally good, and it has shown a very good growth in the last 10 to 15 years, and the industry focus is also good. It's just that we have a slowdown now.
Yeah, yeah, correct, correct.
As long as the quantitative tightening would persist, it would be a challenge for IT sector as a whole. But
Hmm.
then when it would ease, there is no guarantee that you will get a good entry point, because at that point of time the share price may increase by say in a 4 or 5 consecutive days. It may increase and go to a level where you think that buying is would from the valuation perspective, buying doesn't make sense. Okay.
Correct. I was also looking at their balance sheet today, the whatever released by their auditor. So, uh, like if you see, most of their customers are based out of North America, and that's where the tightening like is happening, and whatever Fed rates are, the interest rates are getting hiked, and all the uncertainty that is going on, that's where it is. So if we see the future outlook, maybe and that is directly related because 64% of their projects are based out of companies from North America, and then something around 24-23% of their companies are based out of Europe. So that will
Hmm.
definitely have an impact. Like, so if there is a slowdown there, that will directly have an impact here for Infosys. But obviously, the rupee depreciation will help in some way, right?
Yes, like it has all for this year also for this quarter.
Hmm.
Like in that 70 basis point was a gain in the EBITDA
Uh-huh. Correct,
margin
correct.
because of
Hmm.
the rupee depreciation. And if
Hmm.
that is happening, yeah, there would be some margin or some respite in that perspective. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's a revenue number which would be most likely be impacted.
Okay, yeah. And they have also announced a buyback, right? Share buyback of
Right.
9,300 crores. So that is also one of the positive things. So,
Yeah, so yeah, the price is fixed at 1850,
hmm,
and they've also announced a dividend of say rupees 16.5.
per share, huh? Yes, correct. Okay. Okay, so nice. I think let's see till tomorrow what happens, like whether the share does a gap up or whatever it is. And then today, anyways, I was just looking at the Infosys price. I mean, during the day, it was like more or less within a range, within a very small range. And so I think we'll see some thing tomorrow, maybe something gap up or whatever it is. So we'll see tomorrow. So there'll be
Not
a lot of
expecting a
results.
huge volatility here. Means
Mm,
it's I guess it's a more of a stable range. But yeah,
mm,
if the outlook turns sour with respect to the inflation numbers, which will come up. So
mm,
if the numbers even are stubborn, especially the core inflation, and the Feds keep on hiking the interest rates, it's there.
mm,
The pain can come with respect to the overall revenue. But it is
correct.
a good company, and it has proven that over the years. So keeping a long term perspective, I think it's still a good entry point.
Yeah, 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 correct, correct. Okay, Malloy. So, what we'll do, so we'll close this video here because there'll be a lot more other videos we'll have to make because a lot more companies would be announcing their quarterly results in the coming days. So, next video we can take up Mindtree and then we can see the numbers and discuss more in detail about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure, Kalyan.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Sure. Thanks, Malloy, for joining. See you. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.